I think about this a lot, that like Robert Frost, the poet, was asked about where his poems come from, and he said that all poetry begins as a lump in the throat. And I mean, man, that's so true about the real kinds of things that speak to us or resonate with us. You can feel that there was some urgency, some deep emotion, and that just had to be expressed. And that has always led somewhere special for me. So it might be the silliest video ever online that I make, or it might be like a simple picture book, but they all started with a lump in the throat, and it was, I don't want somebody to feel alone. I don't want kids to feel left out. I don't want people to walk around thinking they don't matter. I don't want people to, just exist today. I want them to embrace life and love. That sort of swell in the throat is where it starts, and it might lead somewhere silly, but I think it always is sacred if you're listening to it.
Yeah.
And so the more I've tried to listen to that, the more it leads to really lovely places. And I also have discovered that, no matter how wildly creative you are or uncreative you might feel, when you listen to that lump in your throat, or that thing that you care about deeply, that you want others to know and feel, and you act on that creatively, respond in some sort of loving expression, it always becomes better than you imagined. Now, that doesn't mean that it makes the bestseller list. It doesn't mean that you're financially successful, but all the things that have started from a place of love went further than I could have ever imagined. And I will imagine big, crazy things, but like the Kid President Pep Talk was a video I made that reached 32 million people plus or whatever, and was a runaway train. But the coolest thing about it was that it inspired other pep talks that other people then took it and made their own, or they created projects from it. The best stories inspire more stories. And so like, we started this project called Socktober, and the premise there was that we found out our local shelter had a great need, and I wanted to do something big for people who were without homes in our neighborhood. And I found out that that socks were the most needed, least donated item. And I was sort of like underwhelmed by that, because I thought, I wanted to do something big. They said, well, that's what we need right now. It's a starting place. Let's do that. And so we did a sock drive, and then it turned into food, and then it turned into like blankets, and it turned into raising money to actually build a shelter. But the coolest thing was not that we started the Socktober drive locally. It's then that like now there's Socktober drives in all 50 states, on every continent. It was mentioned on Jeopardy. I was once on an airplane, and the guy next to me starts talking to me about doing Socktober with his daughter's schools. He has no idea I'm in any way connected to it. And I was just sitting there getting to have a glimpse of what happens. I wanted to be like, I did that. But it was just sitting there, in the sky next to a stranger. And I got like a glimpse of, how far things can spread, and it doesn't matter who gets the credit. It just matters sometimes that something happens, and you begin to see that things that are launched in love go a really long way, and you occasionally get a glimpse of where it shows up. Not always, but it's always worth it to just show up with a little box of socks, and then it's going to go further than you imagine. So just start.